Hey guys, it's Lena with Studio R12 Live. Thanks for hopping on with us today. I'm really so excited about sharing this project with you, so be sure to stay tuned. Hey guys, thanks so much for staying tuned. I'm so excited about what we're gonna be working on today. We're gonna be choosing happy. Working on this boho style sign, and I've got some cool tips and tricks for you. So, I have this fancy piece of paper, and it is a really easy hack for when you don't have a T-square handy. Okay, so I'm gonna show you kind of what we did. We took our surface here, and we lined it on some brown paper, and of course then cut it out, right? And then we folded it, and we just kept folding and kept folding in equal sized parts until we got all the way to the bottom and had this teeny tiny, you know, little piece of paper. And then we unfolded it, and it fits perfectly. This now gives me a grid of my whole board, which is going to help me when I want to make that band line. You see, it's going to help me be able to place that exactly where I want it. So if you can see here, I have marked with a piece of chalk here, a little chalk pencil or a ghost writer. I've marked here where I want my line to be. So now I'm going to scooch over, just pulling really gently, and I'm going to take my pencil. I'm gonna follow this. First I'm gonna click out some lead for my pencil. Then I'm gonna follow that line over to the edge. And I'm gonna make sure I stay lined up. The same thing on this side. Okay? Ooh. Now, you just need a straight edge. So if you have a T-square, you could use that for one of those. Or I'm just gonna use, no I'm not. I'm not gonna use the palette, I'm gonna use the T-square. I think it'll have better luck. Because this T-square has that special lip on the back that's gonna catch my board and help me keep it in place. I could do it with that straight edged palette pad, but I'm not going to today. I think this will be really helpful. And make sure you don't bow in the middle. Perfect, okay. Is it perfect? No, all right. Tap on it. There we go, that'll be it. Sorry, I sloped down just a little bit there. I mean, that was ever so slight. You probably would not have noticed it, but okay. We're gonna move on now by taping. Wherever my tape has gone to. I see it, okay. Can't keep this straight today. All right. I'm going to tape. And I'm just pressing it down a little at a time so that I can make sure I stay on my line. Okay, here we go. That's it. Okay. Now I want to sand this top piece a little bit more. I'm going to sand it down just a little bit. I'm just running really carefully now on the edge of my sander near the tape because it kind of stayed away from it with the hole sander because I didn't want to accidentally grab it. So I'm just using the edge, running close to it. Okay, now I'm gonna take some brown stain. You hear that stain? How watery that is compared to paint? Fun. Okay, so I'm gonna use this brown stain. And we're just gonna take a foam brush. This is watery, so I just kind of punch into it a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna go over this whole area. And you can get along your tape there really good. It's kind of everywhere. I'm just gonna keep mixing it in, going over the same places because it'll take off any extra. Ooh, I'm loving it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh. And that is so pretty. You could even stop right there. Like, look how pretty that is. But we're gonna keep going because I really want the gray look to go with the blue that's gonna be on the bottom. It's gonna be absolutely gorgeous. But if you were wanting to do this, you know, maybe even this style background in a more farmhouse look or something like that, this brown would be a great stopping place for you. Okay. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting to stop myself and tell you guys to like, comment, and share because we have giveaways today. We have giveaways every Tuesday when we hop on live at noon, and then we do them again at 9. So if you're watching in the recast, you can still be entered to win. We're gonna be giving away 2 brush sets today. So we have those. If you have won a set of our brushes or you just have a set, tell me in the comments your favorite thing about our brushes. My favorite thing is that they help make stenciling a breeze, right? And then we have our grand prize, and I'm gonna give away all 3 of the stencils I'm using for this project today. So you're gonna get 3 stencils. You're almost have the complete set to create this at home. All you need to do is go on studior12.com and purchase the service. Which reminds me, Noelle is really great at her job. Say hi to Noelle in the comments. She always makes sure to post in the comment section links to our website so you guys can get access to all of the tools and items I'm using here today. She also has started posting affiliate links for things that maybe we don't carry here at Studio R12, but we really back and use often. Something like this 3M sander. We love the 3M sanders. They have good weight, they fit nice in your hand. Another thing we really love here, Studio R12, is this silicone mat. So there's gonna be links to things like that in the comments. Be sure to check those out and say hi to Noelle. Okay, we're gonna keep moving because I'm really excited. I've talked this dry. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna start with this gray here. Just gonna get a little bit on a foam brush. Okay. Yeah, now you're getting like a gray wash, right? I love the way it's kind of like wetting that brown stain back and even mixing in just a little bit. That's kind of nice. I'm gonna keep a nice light touch with this brown because I'm gonna go another brown on top of it. I'm just gonna kind of brush mix some of this here. Real quick, because I just want a little bit of a darker blue, or gray, what am I saying? I know my colors, I promise, guys. This is gray. But what I like about the light gray I used there is it has kind of a blue cast to it. So it's gonna go really well with the blue stripe and the blue lettering. They're gonna marry really nicely. Okay, I have that where I like it. And so you can still see some of that white coming through in some places. and I'm gonna blow dry because my next step is gonna be to add some cream. And if I add wet cream paint on top of my wet gray, I'm gonna start to like muddy mix on my board, and I don't wanna do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry. While I'm blow drying, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Thanks so much for hopping on today, and tell us how you found us. Did you find us on YouTube or Facebook or Pinterest? Maybe I've even seen some people said they found us on Etsy, so just let us know where you discovered us and where you're from. Goodness gracious. But that's good. I'm gonna take some of this cream, and normally when I'm done with the brush, I throw it in my water so that it doesn't dry out. But I'm gonna keep this gray one out for a minute because what often happens to me is I get too heavy with this kind of color, this touch of color in. I have kind of a heavy hand, and I end up having to use my other colors a little bit of an eraser. So I'm gonna leave it out just for a minute. All right, try to get it a little heavy over here. Yeah. Okay, so there I had a really good example of good heaviness, and then I've got 3 really blocky places that I don't love. So what I'm gonna do is go back in over top of those blockier places, and I'm just gonna kind of delete them a little bit, but they're still big and thick, which is good. But here we go. Okay. I really like that. Super pretty. Okay. I want to sand one more time. Okay, now I'm gonna show you a little bit of a tape trick. So something that has happened to me in the past is I have done a tape technique like this where I've taped off a section and I have painted over top of it. And then when I peel my tape up, along with it, I peel up all my pretty paint, and it just makes me sad, makes me crazy. So if that's ever happened to you, raise your hand in the comments. I'm gonna show you how to keep that from happening though. So you're gonna peel up just a corner of your tape, and you're gonna pull it down at an angle in like this triangle right here. So you see how that's happening? And then you're just gonna pull at an angle, and it's gonna kind of work as like kind of like a little knife to the paint. It's gonna cut it instead of peel it. That's so pretty. So I'm even just letting it roll a little bit. Perfect. I didn't peel up any of my background, which I'm ecstatic about. Now, we're gonna move on to this banding stencil. Super fabulous tool to have in your tool belt. You can do this technique with extensive taping. For me and for us at Studio R12, we've of course created this wonderful banding stencil that saves you from that. But if you needed to, you could use a taping technique. But right now I'm gonna use this awesome banding stencil so I don't have to tape and painstakingly tape some more. And I'm gonna get a brush. I'm gonna use this medium-sized brush. It's not gonna hurt anything. And of course, when we're stenciling, we need a paper towel. I'm gonna work my brush off. Okay. Now for lines like this, I'm gonna stipple. Okay. And then when I get to the edges of my banding stencil, I don't do them, okay? Because if you do, you're gonna get harsh lines through your whole project. Really don't want. So, I'm just gonna try and keep that straight as possible. Just gonna need to load just a little bit more. Because then you can come back in and patch with it, and it's really seamless. But if you run all the way to the seam, you will forever be able to tell. Well, probably not further. You can probably fix it with lots of coats, but it's a whole lot easier if you just don't go to the edge all the way. So you can kind of see how I'm gonna do this. Hey, quick reminder, while I'm painting this, to check us out on YouTube. We are posting YouTube content all the time for you guys, and we post these lives there as well. So maybe if you win the stencils and you want to recreate this with me, you can always hop on to YouTube, turn on the video, and we can paint together. Have fun. Also, since we're posting new content, YouTube has this little button, looks like a little red bell. If you hit it, you will be notified every time Studio R12 posts new content. So go to our page, hit that bell, that way you don't ever miss anything from Studio R12. Okay, I'm gonna come down here and finish this just for the fun of it. All right, now normally I would do more coats on this, but I just kind of want to show you how it worked. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that in the water. And I'm gonna move on to my Choose Happy. I love this stencil. Another great thing about this blue line here that we've created is it helps me be able to line up my Choose Happy stencil nice and straight. Now, I'm going to show you the swirling technique. So you're still working off your brush. It's mostly the same. You're going to work it off a little bit more than we did when we stippled. We're just going to move our hand in a swirl. And I'm moving my arm constantly. I'm not staying in one place very long. Just kind of dusting over. I'm not trying to get my edges or corners too carefully. I'm just kind of moving along quickly. That's good. I'm also not pressing down very hard. That's one thing that you want to be sure you're not doing is shoving your bristles under your stencil. That happens. I don't know what that thing I just did with my voice was. Okay. Go. So one thing I love about stenciling is that you always have options to make it totally customizable. So as I'm getting to the end of this, that's kind of what I want to talk about. You could leave this stencil at one coat and have this really like super boho, you know, nice thin lettering, whatever you were wanting. You could do it that way. Or you could do it like our finished product that we have here, the example I showed at the beginning. That had really dark true letters. You just get that by lots and lots of coats, like probably 3 coats on something like this. So I'm going to go back over the choose just so you can see how it builds. So I can kind of show you the difference. And now when I'm doing this second coat, I'm going a little bit slower, taking a little bit more time, covering things. Okay. Giving my arm a little rest there for a second. Okay, so we're gonna peel this up. just so you can see, that's the difference between 2 coats and 1. So this is gonna get gradually darker and darker and darker every time you do it. Probably up to about 4 coats is where you're gonna start to see the max of the color. You're gonna max your color out, but just depends on the tone of the color, the shade, all the things. For this one, I probably would do 3 coats though. Now I'm gonna move on to our final stencil. It's this super pretty, like leafy, they're like feathery leaves. I love it. And these 3 little rosettes, so pretty. And I'm gonna just tack them up here at the top. Again, this blue line is so handy for lining them and like lining it straight. Loving it. Okay, tape it down. Woo! Skating away on me. And then I'm gonna use this same cream that I used in the background of that. And I'm just gonna keep this really dusty, because I want it to look kind of like, I don't know, older. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I want it to just be a little bit more see-through. And I don't want it to all be the same. So I'm gonna just kind of dust over some places darker and then get some lightness near that, around and about. So I'm just being kind of random with my hand almost even. That's cute. I think I need a little bit more on the top, maybe. Ooh, maybe I don't, because it's kind of dizzying to line up. Here we go. There we go. All right. Okay, that's better. I love that. I love the light kiss of the flowers on the top. I think that's so pretty. And this statement blue, gorgeous. Okay guys, well, that is our Choose Happy project. Again, this is with the 2 coats and this is each with 1. So that when you're all done, you have a finished product. Thanks for watching, guys. Someone will see you, hopefully it's me or maybe Patty, next week on Tuesday at noon, or you can catch our recast at 9, and that's the same again for tonight. So see you guys.